So hello everyone and welcome to more How Good Are. I basically start every video the exact same way. Today we're going to talk about some more characters. Some of these characters I might have a bit more to say about some of these other characters. And not specifically for the reason that you might think, but let's get to it. We have to get through Misuki Rui first. So Rui is, as you can probably already tell, she's a Chunibyo, as in she specifically thinks that she's the reincarnated overlord of some evil guy that reigned over a legion of demons, and she's fighting against an evil conspiracy led by some secret organization, basically El Psy Konguru all the way. And what does she actually do? She is an attacker with 2 Excelis, 2 Blasters. Oh, we're gonna see some blasting with some Magia late game. Oh, it's gonna be great. She's got a personal attack up, MP gain up. Wait a second, 3 turns of attack up 20%? That reminds me of something. Oh, look at this. 3 turns of 30% attack up. Wait a second, that's better. That's just better. And it's also got the defense up on it instead of the MP gain up, which in most cases you would rather like the MP gain up, but it's got more than 50% higher attacker bonus on it, so I'll take this one. I'll take this one. This one is unlimited. Most people have this one. And this one's better than the personal, so yeah, that's a fair personal. The stats are pretty good on the offensive side, even so I would have liked to see more on an attacker, but I think the reason why they wouldn't wanted to give her more, like some other characters have like over 12.5 thousand as an attacker. I think the reason why they didn't want to give her more is because she's unlimited. Maybe, I don't know. Her HP is somewhat alright, but not that special, and her defense is also not that great. So, what else do we have? We see, oh, connect, of course, attack up, and then damage cut and defense up. Okay. Of course, once again, this is completely useless as the character doesn't even get attacked, and if they do get attacked, they're rather safe. But the reason I find this weird is because she's a rather aggressive character, and I can already tell you that, of course, you would probably play her on maybe something like a Magia team or maybe like a Magia Blast team. And especially if you play her on a Magia team, usually you are playing some sort of support character, some sort of guy with a support Magia. And a lot of really strong support Magias, as I keep bringing this up, also have like defense up or damage cut on them, like on the Magia itself, which will keep you safe. Or they have heals, they just have stuff to keep your team safe. So spending a connect specifically to maybe have someone take less damage potentially, I don't think is a pretty good choice at all. It's actually a pretty bad choice. So overall, I'm not too happy with this connect. I mean, the other case would be you play her on a blast team instead of the Magia team, but if you're playing on a blast team, just blast enemies and win. So once again, it's not aggressive enough for a blast team. So I don't think, like, the connect itself isn't actually, like, just in theory, just if you look at all of the stuff that it could actually do, it's pretty good. Like, because if someone does get attacked, they take almost no damage, which is really amazing. It's just not what I think that she should need. This is like a connect that I think would be really good on a support, like on an actual, like a healer, on a heal type support, on a defensive support. But she's a damage dealing attacker. Not quite sure she's supposed to have this connect. Anyway, moving on with the connect, it's attribute strength from damage to all enemies, which means it will deal bonus damage to light, even more so than it usually would. Also stuns all enemies, but look at that, 45%. Come on. Why is this so low? She only has one other effect, it's attack up to self, and once again, if you're playing a Magia team, and if you're getting to Magia, maybe you're playing a Magia team. Other characters, like other supports, can do this for everyone and like cap other people's attack up. So her giving it to herself, it's not bad. It's just something that other people can do too and eat better. So, but yeah, this makes chance to stun like the only other effect on it. It's only 45%. That's bad. The double, I think, is 100% chance on stun. It doesn't tell you. It doesn't say right here, but I assume it's 100% chance to stun. Even that is just bad. Not very good. I mean, specifically, I guess, if you're playing against a light type big boss, this will be amazing. But if you're not playing against a light type big boss, you can maybe stun and you give yourself an attack up, which is fine. Not terrible, but not also that amazing. I know I keep bringing this up, like I know there's a lot of characters who I've said before, like, oh, this is not terrible, but not very great. The reason why I keep saying this is just because Manga Record has so incredibly goddamn many characters that are just somewhere on the average level. They're just like, they're fine, I guess. Like, I've not seen any other game that has so many just, average kind of characters as this game. But I think personally, that's fine. Not every character has to be standout terrible or standout awesome or really weird. It's fine for there to be characters that are just like, and I think Louise kind of falls into that as well. However, at least she has some cool stuff in that, hey, look at that, she gets 15% attack up and a critical health. Yay, something awesome, something cool. And defense up, but she has like basically no defense, so this defense up doesn't really matter too much. And also, it only triggers at critical health, which is like, I think 20% HP, so not that much. Just regenerate HP and also get stealth aim resistance up. That's pretty good. So that actually helps her staying alive a bit longer. For some reason, she gets the 10% damage cut and additional damage cut against stuff. She's an attacker with not too good defense. Why is she getting so many defensive effects? I'm not quite sure. But sure, it's fine. I mean, she also has a pretty good offensive thing right here. But, and this is something that some people might not immediately spot, is some people might not spot when something important is missing. In this case, she doesn't have a blast up. She has 2 blast discs as an attacker with good attack, and she has no blast up. That is awful. If you're playing her on a blast team, she will deal really, really low damage compared to other blasters because she has no blast up. What about Excel up? She has 1 Excel MP gain up and 10% MP gain up, which is fine. But like I said, she has 0 blast up. The active is at least also somewhat okay. It gives attack up and damage up. Once again, the defensive effect out of nowhere. But at 30% attack up, that's totally fine. That's pretty good. So overall, she's got stuff that is just like, yeah, sure, whatever, fine. She's nothing great. She's missing some key stuff, but she also got some okay good stuff. So yeah, she's kind of, whatever. Moving on to the next character, it's Money Huge Rich Pants Large Girl of Golden Money. Money. She has like billions of dollars, and her magia is that she takes out a giant wad of cash and slaps enemies with it, okay? So you have Yuuna, who is a mommy fangirl, and some people might take offense to that, but no, she's a mommy fangirl. And she has 3 Excel discs, so no matter what happens, no matter what we see in with the rest of her character, 3 Excel discs already means she's quite alright. What does she have, though? If you look at her stats, they're not that great. She also doesn't have that much defense, and her HP is really bad. So you would think that, hey, with average defense and really bad HP, maybe her attack is really good. And her attack is okay. It's okay. It's on the defensive side. It's on the offensive side. But it's still far behind, like, aggressive characters. It's still far behind aggressive characters, and that is not something I like. Because it seems like, overall, like, if you combine all of her stats, overall her stats just aren't that amazing, which is kind of sad. She has a personal, which gives attack down 20% to one enemy and chance to fuck to one enemy. It's god-awful, it's terrible, one of the worst personals out there. What else does she have? Her connect gives Addict Killer 50%. That's good, that's what I'm calling this effect, Addict Killer, it's what it's called. So this is 50% Addict Killer, that's pretty good if the enemy has a stealth ailment. Surely she will have some ways of inflicting stealth ailments on enemies if she has an effect like this, right? She has 40% attack up, that's pretty good. And stealth aimment resistance up 60%. Sadly, on a connect, it's not that great, because you can't really guide too much who it hits, because, I mean, it sounds weird, like, of course you can decide who gets the connect right, but if you're trying to actually play offensively, or you try to play effectively, it's pretty obvious who you're going to connect to every turn. And if that character is not someone who you specifically want to protect from stealth ailments, are you gonna screw up your turn just to protect them from stealth ailments? I don't think that's worth it. So, just for one turn, some guy who is going to get the connect is getting stealth aim resistance. Yeah, whatever. what does her Magia do? Surely her Magia is going to inflict some status ailments so we can trigger the Addict Killer, right? It does attribute strength damage to one enemy. Oh no, I don't like it when Magia inflicts one enemy. It's attribute strength from 2, which I guess blows up. By the way, she is a 4-type. I don't know if I mentioned this. She's a 4-type, so she can blow up singular water-type units with this. And since you blow up singular units with this, enemies aren't likely to survive this, especially if they're like actual Magoka enemies. So what we should do? We should debuff them. You should debuff their status ailment resistance. Okay. Hey, at least okay. She doesn't apply. Oh, sorry, she doesn't apply status ailments with her Magia, but she certainly must have another way of inflicting status ailments. I mean, we already have another status ailment effect right here. We have the Addict Killer right here. Surely it's gonna come together at some point. Just evade yourself. Who cares? So the Magia, for her being a Magia character, the Magia is not actually that amazing. It's a single target Magia that's supposed to single target nuke, but apart from that, it does basically nothing. Like nothing that's super duper amazing at all. What else do we have? We have the Magia damage up 2 nodes. That's 3 nodes. Okay, with that we can actually do a lot of Magia damage. That's okay. Something it's gonna hit really hard. Like I said, it's probably gonna kill whatever you hit it at, especially if it's a water type. It has a chance to ignore Magia's seal 55%, sadly 100%. That's kind of sad, but it's still good that it's here. Some evade, good. Some more Addict Killer. Surely we're gonna have some way of inflicting status ailments. And oh, the active surely is gonna no. The active also doesn't inflict a status ailment. The active just does status ailment resistance down against one target. Why is it so hard to inflict any status ailment with this character? And here we have the only thing that does it. She hits enemies and has a 15% chance to inflict fog. That's literally the only way she has of inflicting status ailments herself, even though she has Addict Killer, status ailment resistance down active, Addict Killer on the connect as well, and status ailment resistance down on her Magia. I need to point out 2 things though. This by itself looks absolutely terrible. However, there's 2 things to mention because I'm not going to be that unfair because I do need to mention 2 important things. First off, the fog apparently lasts for 3 turns. Someone who's a big fan of Yuuna has told me that apparently the fog lasts for 3 turns, which is good because then other people can actually make use of that fog on the enemy. And secondly, if you reduce status ailment resistance of your enemies, it's going to be more likely to hit this. So for example, if you hit the enemy with a status ailment resistance down, and then you attack that enemy, you actually have an 80% chance to fog them, which is nice, okay? And then it lasts for 3 turns. However, that is literally the only good way you have. I mean, also you have your Magia, but like I said, if you're using a single target attribute strength Magia with multiple Magia damage up, really the enemy is supposed to explode from that, okay? And if it's like a Kimochi, if you're using this against a Kimochi, first off, you probably have multiple sources of status ailments anyway against the Kimochi, and secondly, it's a single target hit. A single target, and you really want to have multi-target against Kimochi. Oh, it's just not stacking up. So you have an entire character based around status ailments with only one way of inflicting status ailments on her own attack, which of course means that if you're not attacking with this character, it's going to do nothing. And the only way that you're like reliably supposed to get status ailments with this is to lower enemy status ailment resistance with your active or Magia. It's awful. However, once again, I don't want to be unfair, if you actually do play her in a Magia team that primarily focuses on playing around status ailments, maybe for example you have Holy Mummy in there, Holy Mummy might probably fit in there rather well as well. If you have a team like that, that tries to play with Magia but also like inflicts status ailments, she's actually really, really good. Like if you can guarantee that the enemy always has a status ailment on them, your own Addict Killer and the Connect Addict Killer will trigger all the time. That's going to be amazing. The status ailment, if you fight against a big boss, at least, then it's going to come handy as well. The active is going to make everyone else's status ailments hit a lot harder, a lot more easily rather. So if you're playing this very specific team, it's a Magia team with so many status ailments, then she will actually be pretty alright. She will actually be pretty good in that sort of team. However, if you play her in literally any other team, she will be subpar. She will be worse than basically any other Exile Gorilla. Probably even worse than Rika, with currently at 4 stars. So, yeah, she's highly specialized, player in a specialized team, otherwise, not so much. And now the character who I think when I talked the most about, it's this god-awful character. I'm sorry if you're a fan of Tsumugi. I have some things to say about Tsumugi, but before I get to talk about why I hate Tsumugi so much, let's actually talk about her gameplay-wise. So, she's a defense type with 2 Excel discs, 2 Blast discs, goes to Missioner School, which is going to be important in a bit. She has really good HP and really awesome defense, but yeah, she's a defense type as well. Her attack is not that great, but yeah, she's a defense type, so she's going to be tanking. Attack doesn't really matter too much. Her connect gives attack up and damage cut and nothing else, which is actually really, really bad because you're a tank. You're supposed to provoke enemies onto yourself with both this passive and with passive Memoria, so giving someone else damage cut isn't going to help very much if you're going to try to provoke from them anyway. But I guess if provoke does fail, they're going to be protected with the damage cut, which is still nice. But even so, I would have much rather liked it to go either full tank, full super duper defensive, or just go full aggressive and say, I'm a tank that can make other people deal damage. That's something. But sort of half-assing it like this, not that great, but also not terrible. Magia damages all enemies and does Aqua attribute damage cut. It has a defensive effect and a damage cut on it. That's pretty alright, and it regenerates HP to self. Doppel is just more over all of that, so yeah. The Aqua damage cut doesn't really matter too much because the regular damage cut is just so much more than the Aqua damage cut, and this one is just gonna already reduce enemy damage by so much that you won't even notice the Aqua attribute damage cut. What else do we have? We have, of course, stuff that you get for just being a defense type. We have Provoke, the damage cut, Endure on quests. Oh, thank you very much, Madoka Cinnamon, for the follow. Hope you're gonna enjoy your time here. Skills and attack, it's fine. Blast damage cut on top of that, which I guess is pretty good as well. And it starts aim resistance, gotta have that as a tank. And the active removes debuffs and removes stealth aimers from self. So overall, she seems like a pretty decent tank, pretty alright. She doesn't have anything that is super duper amazing, but she can do her job really well. She's rather the sort of pretty good but not awesome tank, I would say. Why do I hate her so much? First off, though, let's actually look at her active Memoria personal damage cut 20%. Just play this one. It's the Yachi Memoria. It's better. It's got 25% damage cut as well for 3 turns, but also a damage increase. It's way better. Okay, why do I hate her so much? This is Sana. She's a green-haired defense girl that goes to Mizuna Girls' School with this that sweater. It's almost exactly the same as Tsumugi. She also has a connect with attack up and damage cut on it. Oh, it's basically the exact same connect. The Magia has a defensive effect and damage cut. It's basically the exact same Magia. Herder. The Spirit Enhancement active is against debuffs, and the Spirit Enhancement actives is against debuffs. They both get the blast damage cut on top of the other stuff you get for being a defense character. Okay, she's basically an upgraded Sana. Okay, she's an upgraded Sana. They basically copy-pasted Sana and just upped her numbers a bit, okay? That's not the reason why I hate her. But it's funny as fuck because I'm about to tell you something about Tsumugi. So the reason why I hate Tsumugi and why so many other people out there hate Tsumugi is because you know that Iroha is already together with Yachiyo. So Sana is not going to end up together with Iroha. It's not going to happen. Iroha is already taken. But Sana has a really, really nice ship with Manaka, because if you read Manaka Magical Girl's story, they have such a nice scene together, multiple scenes even where they're just so happy together and it's so wholesome, and like, oh, Sana is giving Manaka the will to keep cooking on, and Manaka is making Sana feel accepted, and it seems like, oh, there's some really good chemistry between the two. Maybe they can end up together, maybe that would actually work really nice, like they're actually a really nice ship. But then out of nowhere, out of absolutely nowhere, they just snap this character into existence. They say, we're going to copy-paste Sana. We're going to copy-paste Sana onto another character. And then this character NTRs Sana and ends up with Manaka. And that is the highest, the uppermost amount of disrespect you can give to any character. Sana got done so incredibly goddamn dirty by the developers. It looks like Sana was gonna end up with Manaka, but no, we're gonna copy-paste Sana, gameplay-wise and story-wise, onto another character that just appears out of nowhere, never before mentioned, and then this character NTRs the first character's love interest. That is so goddamn dirty, and this is why I hate Tsumugi, because they really just wanted to, just out of spite for Sana, the developer said, you know what, we hate Sana, we're gonna do this. Oh my god, I'm frothing from my mouth at the amount of disrespect towards Sana from this. But yeah, I guess I can also say about Tsumugi that she's a better Sana in gameplay-wise, but story-wise, fuck Tsumugi. As I hope you guys enjoyed, hit that subscribe button, ring the bell, and I'll see you guys next time.